Hello, everyone. Today we start a new series of videos and interviews in celebration of Student House's upcoming 70th anniversary in October. We are looking for marvelous memories and fascinating facts about Student House and reminiscing with former residents and Victoria League members associated with Student House. And today my guest is Adele Andersen. Hello, Adele. How are you?
I am great.
Thanks so much for speaking to me. Let me tell you a little bit more about her. Adele came over to the UK from Adelaide, Australia in 2006 on a one-year open return ticket. She never did use the return, and 18 years later, she's still very much here in the UK. What started out as a short-term summer stay wound up being a long-term residency. After a few years, Adele became one of the house wardens at Student House. At one point, she worked at the History Channel, a job Adele landed by doing temp cover for a fellow resident while he was on vacation. She also trained as a fitness instructor, running practice sessions on anyone who would join her in the basement. Eventually, Adele moved out to a house share. She's lived in Fulham, Hammersmith, Acton, and now Bracknell in Berkshire, but she says none has ever equaled living in Bayswater. And to quote, "What a location, London was our oyster." She is now a fully qualified personal trainer and runs a boot camp in Hammersmith and teaches online fitness classes. She's also a writer, very impressive. The Doctor's Dreaming is her first novel. She writes fantasy novels, which is something she started dabbling while she was living at Student House, and is now publishing some of those too. She's married to singer Rasmus Baum Andersen. Is it Baum?
Bomb.
Baum Andersen. And together they went looking for a dragon on BBC's Dragon Den a few years back, which is very exciting. Adele made many casual and close friends at Student House and thrived in the social environment there. Trudy was one of her closest friends, and they had so many adventures at and around the house. They had many happy nights watching Doctor Who, period dramas, and Eurovision. Adele also loved the access to the Victoria League special events like Buckingham Palace garden parties, fancy dinners, and tours. Quoting Adele, "I fully credit staying here so long on Student House. I immediately made friends and had many happy years there. It almost sounds like if she could, she still might be living there." What a fun thing to hear. Thanks so much for that bio. I enjoyed reading it. It really did. So tell me, how did you find Student House in the first place?
So I got left in Laycock, Raybridge, Wiltshire, the middle of nowhere by my parents on this open return ticket. And at some point I needed to come to London, and I had a friend, Poppy, who was living at Student House. So I kind of had to keep nagging her. I'm like, "This place, can I come? Can I come? Can I come? Can I come?" And eventually she hooked me up with Trudy and Sue, who were in the office at that time. And so, they could have me come in for the summer. So I came in just for that first summer in 2006.
So coming in from Wiltshire then to London must have been, I want to be here.
Adelaide, Wiltshire to London was like, whoa.
Wow. And so you were a student warden at Student House. What does that job entail? And do you have any really good stories from your time there?
I don't have any great stories. Nothing happened on my shift. So it was basically, the office hours were from 9 till 5. And so after 5, you had to have a warden, and then weekends. And then there was every year you had to juggle who got the short straw and got Christmas. But basically I was meant to turn up at 5 o'clock, and I would always turn up at about 3 minutes past 5. I'd always have to message Trudy once I got to Notting Hill, be like, "I'm almost there." And she'd always be like, because I was always like 3 minutes late, never 5. But it was just making sure if people wanted to pay rent, if the alarms went off, if there was deliveries, it was just making sure there was always someone responsible for things going wrong or the internet going down. That was the main one. The internet would go down.
Oh, that's a big deal, isn't it?
It was a big deal. So when I was there at the beginning, there was no internet, which you can't imagine now. But yeah, when the first internet came in, it was very up and down. And when it went down, it was like crisis.
Yeah, no, I'm sure it would be. I guess when you were running late, that's maybe how you got into your fitness to get.
I would cycle my bike from Brentford to Bayswater so fast.
That's how you get fit. That's how you get fit. So I'm sure you have many memories of Student House, but is there one or two that really stick out?
This one is not so much about the house itself, but I will never forget this. I was walking down Queensway, which is the big road by Vic League, and a man went past on a motorcycle singing opera. It was the most surreal thing. My thought was, I live with that person. And that was Dwayne Jones, who was an opera singer. And at the time, we had about 5 opera singers living in Vic League. We had such immensely talented people. We could go and see Vic League people in the theatres, in the opera houses. And just this man driving around singing opera on a central London street. I'm like, I live with that person. How amazing is that? That's probably like the most, like the memory that really made me feel so lucky to live at Victoria League. Just the people that you ended up living with were people I would never have met otherwise. Just amazing group.
There seems to be every year there's always a number of musicians and singers and things there. And it's just amazing just when you actually get
such a talented group.
Exactly. It's a great location, the student house, Bayswater. What did you love about living around Bayswater?
Well, Westbourne Grove was just behind us, and that had lots of shops on it. You could go and have really, really good curry. You could go and have Italian. You could go and, visit any little shops you wanted to. We had Whiteley's on the end, although I don't even know if that's there anymore. It keeps changing.
No, it's not. It's become.
It's not, is it?
Not in a shopping centre anymore, which is sad.
I know. So every time I go down there, which is not often, the whole of that road has changed.
I know, but it's still great restaurants and things.
Oh yeah, okay. As long as they're just changing to good ones. But we had Queensway, which was just, you could hear every single language in the world on Queensway. And coming from Adelaide, where everyone just speaks English, I was just so stunned at the cultural diversity. And then 10 minutes the other way, you've got Notting Hill, which was really remarkable. And then sort of 10 minutes down the road, you've got the Royal Parks. So, Buckingham Palace was about, I think, a 12-minute walk away. Plus we had all of the, we had Central Line, Hammersmith and City, District Line, all within a couple of minutes walk. It's just your access to places was unbelievable. And the number of things that I would see on TV and films that I lived near was very, as they're coming from a small city in Australia, just to be like, oh, I saw that on Sherlock the other day.
Exactly. It was, but not long before. I guess maybe it was a little before Notting Hill. The film wasn't.
Yeah, which was huge. Yeah. So anywhere to walk and to go to, and just purely for accessibility, and just a lot of globally well-known landmarks in the area that we could enjoy that were in our backyard.
Amazing location.
And also, of course, the garden. So there's a huge shared garden behind. And, that was beautiful all around the year. To be able to be in central London and just to have access to green space on your back door is actually really rare.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing place. Finally, what would you say to Commonwealth students thinking of coming over to London to study about living in student house?
As I said, or you said in my thing, I would not be in the UK anymore if I hadn't ended up at student house. So the big thing I hear from people moving into UK or moving anywhere these days is actually loneliness. And in student house, you are immediately put in with a big, very diverse group of people, really, really interesting people. As we've said, some very talented people as well. And because they arrange events as well. So even though people do tend to be more on their phones now, you will have events, you will meet people, you will make friends. We have communal kitchens, which is not always the case now. So actually the way the building is constructed, you do end up interacting with people more. So in terms of coming into a brilliant location in a very supportive environment where you will make friends and you won't feel alone, I just couldn't recommend it enough. I said, I wouldn't have left.
Haven't really left, have you? No, it's that you couldn't say it any better. Thank you so much for that. It's a good advertisement, but it's actually true. It's what I hear from all the students and residents there. So, Adele, thank you for your time. Really appreciate it, and all the wonderful memories. That's fantastic. Thank you for being my guest.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. And thank you everyone for listening, and see you next time with some more memories.